What are you doing? Picketing?
Oh, Mary. I just happened to be passing by here.
Yes, so I noticed. Have you made up your mind?
How's that?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
About coming in. Your mother just phoned and said you were on your way over to pay me a visit.
My mother just called you? Well, how'd she know?
Didn't you tell her?
I didn't tell anybody. I just went for a walk. Happened to be passing by here. That's... What do you... Went for a walk, that's all.
I'll be downstairs, Mother.
All right, dear.
Well, are you coming in or aren't you?
Well, I'll come in for a minute. But I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here, you know. When'd you get back?
Tuesday.
Where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
All right. I thought you would go back to New York like Sam and Angie and the rest of them.
Oh, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick? For Bedford Falls?
Yes. My family and everything. Would you like to sit down?
All right, for a minute. I still can't understand it, though. You know, I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude.
Well, then, sit down.
What's that? Some joke, huh? Well, see, it still smells like pine needles around here.
Thank you. And dance by the...
What's the matter? Oh, yeah. Well,
Nice about your brother Harry and Ruth, isn't it?
oh, yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about.
No, marriage is all right for Harry and Marty and Sam and you.
Mary, who's down there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home, and don't you leave the house either. Sam Wainwright promised to call you from New York tonight.
What's your mother mean? You know, I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for, then?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to be the one that has all the answers. You tell me.
Why don't you go home?
That's where I'm going. I don't know why I came here in the first place. Good night.
Good night.
Mary, the telephone is Sam.
I'll get it.
Whatever were you doing? It's good here.
Come out tonight, can't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight?
Mary, he's waiting.
Hello?
Forgot my hat.
Hee-haw. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw, put him on.
Well, just a minute. I'll call him. George!
He doesn't want to speak to George, you idiot.
He does so. He asked for him. George, Sam wants to speak to you.
Hi, Sam.
Well, George Baileyovsky. Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
Oh, what do you mean? Nobody's trying to steal anybody's girl. Here's Mary.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I want to talk to
Here,
both
you-
of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
You talk.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear. Come here. We're listening, Sam.
Well, look, I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, do you remember that night in Martini's bar when you told me you'd read someplace about making plastics out of soybeans? Chili beans. Shut up, will you? You remember, out of soybeans.
Yeah, soybeans, yeah.
Well, listen, Dad snapped up the idea, and he's going to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Well, why Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
Well, I don't know. Why not right here? You remember that old tool and machinery works? You tell your father you can get that for a song, and all the labor he wants, too. Half the town was thrown out of work when they closed down.
Was that so? Well, I'll tell him. Hey, that sounds great. Ah, baby, I knew you'd come through. Now, here's the point. Mary, you're in on this, too. Now, listen. Have you got any money?
Money? Yeah. Well, a little.
Well, now, listen. I want you to put every cent you've got into our stock. Do you hear? And, George, I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to that broken-down building and loan. Well, this is the biggest thing since radio, and I'm letting you in on the ground floor. Oh, Mary.
Well, I'm here.
Will you tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime? Do you hear? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Now, you listen to me. I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any ground floors, and I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do. And you're...
George.
Mary.